Hello, I am Albert Einstein, and today I will tell you my story. I was born in 1879 in the city of Ulm, Germany, at a pivotal moment in history. You may wonder, how could a small child from this town become one of the most influential minds in the history of science? At first, I wasn't different from anyone else. I was just a child asking questions that many others didn't have answers to. But I was searching for something deeper than simple answers. I was searching for a better understanding of the universe itself. Since my childhood, I was always in a constant state of questioning everything around me. My mother, Pauline Koch, who was a musician, would always tell me,
"You are a strange boy, Albert. You can't be like everyone else."
She would play the piano and encourage me to learn music. But I would always tell myself, why not? Why can't I ask about everything? That curiosity that seemed strange to those around me was the very thing that led me into the world of physics. As a young boy, I spent hours reading books on mathematics and philosophy. One book that particularly fascinated me was Euclid's Geometry, which I called my sacred little geometry book. It opened my eyes to the beauty of logical reasoning and set the foundation for my later work in theoretical physics. My school years were anything but smooth. I struggled under a rigid and authoritarian educational system that prioritized rote memorization over creativity and critical thinking. Teachers often criticized me for questioning their methods and challenging traditional ideas. They saw me as a disruptive student who didn't fit the mold. This system stifled my curiosity rather than nurturing it. I despised the mechanical way of teaching and longed for intellectual freedom. Even as a teenager, I dreamed of escaping the confines of conventional education. I envisioned a world where learning was driven by passion and discovery, not by fear of authority or punishment. At the age of 15, my family moved to Italy, and I used this as an opportunity to escape from the oppressive German educational system. I dropped out of school without earning a formal diploma. However, this decision did not mark the end of my academic journey. I was determined to pursue higher education, so I applied to the prestigious Swiss Federal Polytechnic Institute in Zurich. To my disappointment, I failed the entrance exam on my first attempt. My weaknesses in subjects like languages and humanities cost me dearly, even though I excelled in mathematics and physics. Despite this setback, I didn't give up. I spent a year studying at a cantonal school in Aarau, Switzerland, where the teaching methods were far more progressive and aligned with my learning style. This experience reignited my passion for learning. In 1896, I successfully passed the entrance exam and was admitted to the Polytechnic Institute. While my academic journey was filled with challenges, my personal life was equally complex. During my time at the Polytechnic, I met Mileva Maric, a fellow student and one of the few women studying physics at the time. We shared a deep intellectual connection and spent countless hours discussing scientific theories. Our relationship blossomed into love, but it was not without its difficulties. My family disapproved of Mileva due to her Serbian background and unconventional nature. Our collaboration extended beyond romance. We worked together on mathematical problems and discussed groundbreaking ideas late into the night. Some historians believe that Mileva played a significant role in shaping some of my early theories, though her contributions remain debated to this day. Despite the opposition, we married in 1903 and had a daughter named Liesl, whose fate remains a mystery to this day. We later had 2 sons, Hans Albert and Eduard. However, the pressures of my career and my obsessive dedication to science strained our marriage. Mileva's own aspirations in the field of physics were overshadowed by my growing fame. Our relationship became increasingly tumultuous, leading to our divorce in 1919. Following my separation from Mileva, I married my cousin Elsa Loventhal, who provided me with stability and support during my most productive years. Yet, even this relationship was not without its complexities. The demands of my work often took precedence over my personal life. Despite the challenges I faced both academically and personally, I never lost sight of my passion for understanding the universe. After graduating in 1900 from the Polytechnic Institute, I began working at the Swiss Patent Office. This wasn't where I had imagined myself. I saw myself in laboratories and scientific conferences, not in an office dealing with paperwork. But this didn't stop me from continuing to think. The challenge I faced was how we could better understand the laws of the universe. During this period, I read extensively about astronomy and modern theories in physics, and this greatly influenced the development of my ideas. The quiet solitude of the patent office allowed me to focus deeply on my thoughts. It was here that I developed some of my most revolutionary ideas, including the concept of light quanta, which laid the groundwork for quantum theory. During this time, I became increasingly involved in global issues, speaking out against militarism and advocating for peaceful solutions to conflicts. My commitment to peace and justice earned me Admire in 1905. That year changed my life and the life of humanity. I presented my scientific papers that would revolutionize the field of physics. One of those papers that caused great controversy was the one in which I discussed the special theory of relativity. In this theory, I proposed that space and time are not fixed as everyone had believed, but rather they are influenced by gravity and motion. This discovery was completely unexpected and was part of the ideas that had inspired me throughout my life. This philosophical notion I had read in my youth that the universe must obey logical, fixed laws. In 1915, I reached the general theory of relativity, which completely changed our understanding of gravity. I always said, gravity is not a force. It is the curvature of space and time, which causes larger objects to attract smaller ones. This discovery became the foundation for many developments in modern science. During that time, I also explored other areas of physics, and I believe this is what pushed me to think about deeper questions regarding the universe and nature. Though my discoveries brought me fame, they also isolated me from mainstream physicists who struggled to grasp the implications of my theories. I remained steadfast in my belief that the universe operates according to elegant, logical principles. In 1921, I was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. This wasn't the greatest moment of my life. The greatest moment was when I realized that I had given the world a new way to understand the universe. I believed that my discoveries could contribute to profound changes in the world, but I never imagined that they would have consequences of a different kind. In 1939, I was in the United States when my colleague, physicist Leo Szilard, sent me a letter warning that the Nazi regime in Germany had begun working on a project to develop a nuclear weapon. At that moment, I sent a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt urging him to take swift action. I didn't want to be part of the war or to develop weapons, but I felt it was crucial to prompt the US government to act quickly. This letter began the Manhattan Project, which eventually led to the development of the atomic bomb. I always thought about that moment. Did I contribute to something positive? Or did I help in the destruction of the world? I knew that science was not just equations. It was a powerful tool that could be used for good or evil. In my later years, when I tried to explain the impact of my ideas on future generations, I believed that the science we have should be in the service of humanity. I advocated for human rights, social justice, and opposed racism and Zionism. I always said, science is just a tool for understanding the universe, and the goal is to use this understanding to improve human life. During my exile in the United States after the rise of Nazism in Germany, I worked on founding the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, where I had the honor of working with many prominent scientists. But this period was not easy for me. I felt sorrow for what was happening in Europe, and I was concerned about the future of humanity in the face of war. I always believed in the importance of social justice, which is why I supported the civil rights movement in the United States. I met with figures like Martin Luther King, who was a source of inspiration for me in the field of social justice and equality. I opposed nationalism and racism, and I had a deep commitment to achieving peace in the world. The impact of my discoveries is still felt today. For example, the concept of relativity is used in global positioning systems, GPS, which rely on relativistic corrections to ensure the accuracy of calculations. Although I made scientific discoveries that changed history, I never considered myself a creator of practical inventions. I always saw myself as a discoverer of the laws of nature, rather than an inventor of practical things. As for education and innovation, I believed that education should go beyond mere memorization and regurgitation. It should encourage critical thinking and continuous curiosity. I always said, curiosity is fundamental in education. I believe that science in the future will continue to advance, and it will remain essential in solving humanity's problems, such as climate change and poverty. We need to teach future generations the importance of science and its profound impact on our lives. Today, I consider myself one of those who contributed to changing the shape of the world. But I know my role was just a link in a long chain of science and innovation. Think of science as a continuous journey, a journey of questioning and searching. As I always said, the greatest mark of human greatness lies in the ability to understand the laws of nature. If there is one thing I would like to leave you with today, it is that science is not just numbers and equations. It is an ongoing journey to understand the world we live in. And perhaps there will be new questions in the future that I could not answer, but what matters most is that we must continue searching, questioning, and trying to understand. In the end, how do you think my discoveries have affected the world? Do you believe my ideas were the beginning of a deeper understanding, or just another idea? I leave that for you to think about, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. If you felt intrigued as I shared my story with you, and if you would like to hear more, there are other historical figures waiting for you. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and press the bell to meet a new historical figure who may change your perspective on the world. Thank you for watching.